All right, welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Monday, October 11th, 2021, and I am your host, Kim Matina. And I am so happy to have on my show today for the first time Miss Jamie Ellman, and she comes to us from Austin, Texas. Jamie is a former educator for 15 years, and she is now working for the Juice Learning Company, but she also still has some connections in education. She works with the Austin School District, and she recently has earned her master's degree at the University of Colorado. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I
Yeah,
followed you forever, so because I'm a Google addict.
a
Everything I
Google
do is
guru,
Google.
a guru. So,
Yeah.
Jamie, I know we were supposed to meet up in the summer, and then things just kind of like we got, I had to reschedule you. So I appreciate you being on today. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you're doing now with the Juice Learning Company?
Okay. Yeah. Gosh, it seems like I always, when I start talking about myself, what's funny is that now it's crazy to work with people who I'm old enough to be their mom. And
Don't
so
even go there.
seriously, like, I think I have my ring light gives good light, and I think I have good genes, but like, I am proud to say I'm 51 years old. So I graduated college in 1993 and started teaching in 95. I don't know where you are and all of that, but so I literally work with some people now, and I jokingly, how when you're kind of our age or my age, I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming you're kind of maybe around my age, but
I'm not going to say my age on air. I will tell you
no,
afterwards.
I'm totally, this is the first time in my whole life I've ever really been like proud. I'm like, I'm 51, mostly because the students always are like, you look 35, Miss Elma. I'm like, thank you. So I
Yeah.
can say that. But no, but I'm working with someone right now currently, and I jokingly said, oh, I'm probably old enough to be your mom. And then I said, I graduated in 93, and he was very quiet. And I said, am I old enough to be your mom? I said, you weren't even born yet. And yeah, he was not born yet.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started teaching a long time ago. In 95 is when I first started teaching in Colorado, and I had some awesome teaching experiences. I got to teach. I was hired to teach English for a woman who was on maternity leave, and then when she came back, they wanted to keep me. So they kind of said, "Hey, would you teach world geography and police academy?" And I said, "What's police academy?" They explained it to me, and I was like, that sounds like fun. So I was basically a facilitator. So I got to do really cool stuff my first years teaching. And then I took some time off to raise my kids. I have a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old. And went back into teaching. I never thought I would teach middle school. Once I did my student teaching in middle school, but then I taught middle school social studies for 7 years. And then I really missed high school. So with my daughter, who was going to be a senior in high school a few years ago, I was like, I want to be back in high school. So I was really fortunate to teach in the high school in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where she was a senior. So, and I taught AP, I took APUSH and World. So I've done a lot more history than English, even though I was certified English teacher. So I've really been involved. I've done that forever. And when I got my master's, actually I got my master's when I was pregnant with my son. So that, I don't know, I probably wrote something wrong in there. But when I got my master's, it was when I really started focusing on technology in the classroom, which was 1999. I've been a nerd my whole life and have had computers and all of that. So really, this has always been my world, and getting kids to use as much technology as possible in the classroom. So it was kind of a really organic move for me. I've always wanted to do something like this and work for an ed tech company. So I was really grateful that when I saw this product, I actually was on a podcast. I was on, I think it was Andrew Wheelock's podcast that I was on, and the Juice saw me, and then they wanted me on their podcast. And it was funny because after I saw the product and peeked around, I was like, this is so cool. And I went to them and said, are you hiring? Because I think you need to hire me. I think I need to work for you. And they were like, really? What can you do? And so, and then it.
And that was it. History is made. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, like, so what is the juice learning? Like, so like we were talking before we went live, and I still don't, even though I read your notes, I went to the website, I'm still kind of lost. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what you have to show and share, and hopefully maybe someone else can find it beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a lot of teachers who are using it right now. A lot of my Twitter PLN friends are using it and loving it. But really, on the surface level, the juice, if you just were to look at it, it looks like a digital newspaper, which it's so much more than that. And we're going to get into it. I'll show you it here. But basically, the gist of it is that every single day we have the most amazingly talented group of educators and journalists who meet, look and see what's trending, what's important going on in the world. And we write original content. They write 5 articles a day for students. This is the cool part, differentiated at 4 different reading levels. So it goes 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And so when you have your students signed up for the juice, they get a little, kind of highlight email in the morning and they don't have to have email addresses, but if they do, and it shows, this is what you're going to get when you go and jump into the daily juice. And we like to say we have freshly squeezed juice every morning.
That's funny.
Which is kind of a little side note, is really special to me because my grandfather, who passed away a number of years ago, who was like the person I looked up to the most in this world, every single morning made fresh squeezed orange juice. Like literally, he lived in Palm Beach. And if you woke up in the morning,
you have to have fresh orange juice when you're living down there.
I have like pictures of him squeezing the orange juice. So to me, it was like the sign, like the daily juice. That's like my grandfather was like, this is what you need to be doing. So every morning, that's what you get delivered in your mailbox, these 5 articles. We do hard-hitting news. There's also an awesome element called On the Bright Side. So there's this one article that is kind of like the good news article. It's about a prolific young person or someone with, upstanding moral character. It's a really positive, like I said, uplifting kind of little article. And then we always do a vocab word of the day. And we also have a little video, and the videos are really fun. I learn something every single day when I wake up. I look forward to reading it in the morning.
So it sounds like there's a dashboard and you can get all these different objects and different content. Now, so I guess you can customize that all to your subject, grade, or whatnot, right?
Well, the articles, you can, you can find different things for particular classes that you're teaching. There's a search functionality. The articles are the articles, like that part is the same every single day, but there's a search function, and the archive, like the database, is what I really push a lot, because I know what it's like to have to struggle for content for your kids that's going to be engaging, that they want to read. And that part is what I love about this, is that you can go in, and if you're looking for something specific, you can, for the most part, and again, it grows every single day. We're a very new company, but the database is a place where you can search if there's something that you're looking for.
Can you search by grade level or no?
No. But, well, if you have it set at certain grade, the reading levels, sometimes you can find those articles to match the reading level that you're looking at. But no, you know what? How about I jump in so I can show it to you?
Yeah, that'll be good.
I think it'll make a lot more sense when you can see it. All right, so I'm going to share my whole screen.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Here we go. Okay, I'm so excited to show it to you. Okay, can you see?
I see your screen.
See it now?
Yep.
All right. So this is, and one of the things that I think probably what got me right away was just how easy it is for kids to be able to jump in here and not get lost. I'm not going to talk negatively about any other kind of platform, but a lot of times I find that it's really easy to get distracted when there's so many different things that a kid can do. For this, the kids get in, this is exactly what they see when they log in. they'll be able to see, here's the daily juice. These two panels that the Sculpey one and the class announcement, they're actually customizable by the teacher. So the teacher can actually change these two. The way that I see this one up here is that you could potentially maybe have an image that you want the kids to think about and say, what do you think is going on in this picture? And have that be a bell ringer or whatever it is. But it's flexible what you can do with these two.
Now, really quick, I have a question here for you. So let me get to the other, so I could see your face now. So like the content that's dynamic right here,
yep,
is it age appropriate, I guess? So are there like, like I'm in middle school, okay, but if there's an elementary school teacher out there and they want to have their kids use this, they want to make sure it's age appropriate for their children or their students, so that they're not going to read like something that a high school student should read about current events. Is there a way to control that, or no?
Well, there is. So if a teacher wants to do that, so first of all, it is designed for 5th grade and up. So it's not, so that kind of takes care of that question a little bit. But if there are teachers that are concerned about the specific content and they don't want kids to just have access to the whole thing, we're aligned with Google Classroom so that a teacher can actually just, if the kids have their accounts, the teacher can assign individual articles, or you can do screenshots. So you can use the content that way if you're worried about that.
Okay.
But really it's more designed for middle school. It is designed for middle school and high school students. It's
so do me a favor right now on the screen, like do a, all right, here's an example, because I was going over, no, go back to your screen. There you go. I was teaching the kids about, digital citizenship and cybersecurity, and we were talking about social media and things like that. And it happened to be now that the whistleblower from Facebook testified. So can you search for that article?
Yep, we did an article on that. So I'm just going to put in Facebook, and it probably will pull it up right away. There you go. So, and with this one, it was great because the whistleblower Facebook, you can see exactly, because you haven't seen this. This is what I love about this, is that I know when I assign my students things to read, the first thing they do is they flip pages to see how long it is. Our articles, again, it's original content. They're usually, it's between 200 and 250 words. So you can see this is the length of basically all of our articles look like this. And you can see all the vocab and then this great chart that you could use. And again, when I see this, like what I was talking to you about before we kind of started, was that I love this content. I would take something like this and I could do a screenshot, put it into a Google slide deck and use it in my lesson if this is something that I'm talking about. So let me do this, hold on. Oops. I'm going back there. So you can see each one of these. So this is US News. And when you click on the vocab words, you can have it read to you. So it'll give you the definitions. You can have the entire thing read to you if you would like. When you click on here.
Whistleblower, Facebook chooses profit over safety.
So the embedded scaffolding that we have on this platform, I think is so, like, I talk about this a lot because I have so many teachers, especially in Texas, who have, ESL, their ELL kids. This is just, and even reading, struggling readers, all of the things that we have support those readers with the visuals and, having it read to them. All of those things is super helpful.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, having its accessibility and having those features there should be just the norm now,
There you go. And there's another one there. So there are a number of articles about that. Yeah.
So then how would you take this article and share it into Google Classroom?
So in the teacher portal, and I'll show you that. Do you want me to go there now? Or?
Well, this isn't the teacher portal right now?
So this is what the kids see. So when this is what a kid sees when the student logs in, they have their daily juice. And because today was a holiday, we didn't actually do a juice for today, but I'll click on this so you can see what it looks like. So this is, I try not to confuse anyone, but I like to call this kind of like an issue. I'm using quotation marks, but this is an issue. So this was for Fridays. This was Friday's issue. And when I use this in my classroom, depending on kind of the time that we have, sometimes we'll do the whole issue, and the whole issue takes about 10 to 15 minutes. It really doesn't take that long for kids to read through the whole thing. And the other thing I haven't even mentioned is that with each article, there is a standards-based question that goes with it. And that was what this data is showing you here, is how well the student is doing on their questions that they're answering.
So there's questions embedded in the article?
Yep, and I'll show you right there. So if you look at it, what I was showing you before was a search function. So now you can see, I'll go down, like this is a cool article, this one. So humanities, and when you scroll down, I had already answered this question. So this was the question. What does the phrase uncompromising and compassionate convey to the reader? And one of the things that we hear over and over from students is that they really appreciate how challenging these questions are. We're not just having kids regurgitate information. They truly are aligned to state standards and Common Core standards, depending on what you're using in your state. And when you log in as a teacher, obviously it asks where you live, and then it pulls your state standards. So in the teacher portal, it actually tells you what reading comprehension or critical thinking skill standard it's aligned to, which is kind of mind-blowing, because I don't know anything out there that really does that. And I can show you that.
These questions that are at the end of the article, those are pre-populated already. The teacher can't make them or customize them? Okay.
Yeah, and we have, I mean, I can't brag about the educators that we have who work on this part of this. They're incredible. So, and they're, I mean, one woman that works for us, she was she was a principal at a high school last year. So, I mean, she really knows what she's doing. So it's cool to have these people in here, and they're the ones who are, writing these stories and then doing these assessments for us. Wait, I'm going to click on here just so you can also see what the kids get are these tips and tricks to help them answer the questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the things, and listen, I'm not ever a teacher who says, oh, I have to teach to a test, but I will say that one of the things that I think that this does so well is it really helps kids. It gives kids this practice for any sort of test taking that they may have to, every single day they're reading engaging content, right? And that's written for them. But then they get to practice and do all of these things that a lot of, that teachers sometimes don't have the time to be able to come up with these kinds of challenging questions. Here's an example of the vocab. So we always have one particular vocab question of the day. But I also wanted to show you, hold on, let me go back. Because one of the things that if you've noticed here, so all the blue words, again, are the vocab words. We also have this really special part of the juice that's called the extra juice. So when you see this little tangerine and when it's orange, we do, again, my teacher brain is always like this additional content that does this deeper dive into something that will help the kids understand this article a little bit better, because probably not every kid knows what a Nobel Prize is, right? Mm-hmm. So when they click on this, then it goes into a longer, detailed kind of deeper dive into that so that they can really understand that. So again, I look at this and I think I could screenshot that in 3 parts and put it into, and I'll show you, I'll give you an example, just so people who are watching this can see what they can do with our content. Last year when I was teaching Cold War, we were talking about 9/11 and then Afghanistan. It was right about the time when Biden started talking about pulling troops out of Afghanistan. So there were articles on the juice about that. There was a really great, it's an extra juice on Afghanistan, and I took it, and this is what I did. Can you see? You can see.
Yep, I see it. Yep.
And I know you'll love this because again, I love Google slide decks more than a lot of people in my life. This is how I taught last year. So this is how my brain works. So if anyone watching this needs, content, I am on Twitter all the time giving this out for, I just love giving this to teachers to help them. So what I did was I took that extra juice. All I did was a screenshot. I took screenshots of everything and I plugged it into this lesson framework, this lesson template, and did this little kind of history of what is Afghanistan. And then I plugged that into Schoology, and my kids did this as an assignment. I put in these questions, but they had this content that was written for them. I kind of
just broke it down a little bit.
Yeah. Because I will admit, I don't think my 11th graders opened up the textbooks that we had in my classroom once last year, because this is how I teach. I search for content that I can use, in my lessons. And this is something I'm happy to share with anyone who's watching this, and if they want, because it's a great little, and I probably got this it's either from Amanda Sandoval or Catherine Byers, because those two social studies teachers are the bomb. I don't know if you know them very well, but social studies teachers in America who are on Twitter they know those teachers, because they create awesome, work like this for us. But
I like that, because you're kind of focusing more on a specific area of the article, not like, because if you're dealing with, high school, it's different, but, sometimes in middle school, you have to kind of take out some of that content and break it down a little bit more. So it's kind of more, chunking it, and then just giving them what they need to know. So I like that template seems to be very helpful.
Yeah. And the other one that I've done webinars, and I've kind of been showing people, again, different uses of the juice and how teachers can really use this in their classroom, besides just reading it as current events, that I think leads into, you can have these conscious conversations with students in the classroom. Because one of the things that we pride ourselves on at the Juice is we deliver unbiased current events. There is not a red or blue side. If you read through our content, you will see it's factual. So that's something that's really helpful, I think, also for teachers, because, as a teacher in this day and age, most news sources, there's commentary that's added into it. And it makes it really hard for teachers to just tell kids, hey, go find a current event article. So to know,
even channels too, like the media channels, you just have to watch too. So that's good to know, because you want something that's factual, not subjective,
and especially, that's what parents want. I love CNN Student News. Like, I've used that in my classroom forever, but there are some people and I've never really had any sort of parent complain, but, sometimes I had concerns about it, because during the presidential, election, I don't want any parent to say, oh, she's showing them CNN. But it's like, there are parents who feel that way, and they want to make sure that what you're doing in the classroom is, that you're not trying to sway their children in any way. So I love that this is, again, it's written for students, it's original content, all of that. And, here you can see, here's this one on the kid and the alarming challenge, slap a teacher. So of course, if I were to give my kids, I'll tell you right now, if I had, and I'm just going to go back here because I wanted to show you something. So what I do with my students, what I did over the last summer when I taught at the community college, was we would scroll down and take a peek at this, because every day when you get your daily juice, there's an overview of all of the articles. So you get an email. If you have an email address associated with your account, you get a little, news, like a little update first thing in the morning of like highlighting all of this. But I like coming in here because then the kids can kind of take a peek, because I used it.
It's a visual.
Yeah. And I would so if we weren't doing the whole thing, a lot of times if there might be something I want them to read, and I'll say, hey, let's read about the Fat Bear Week, because, the kids love that Fat Bear
Now, I noticed that there's a video in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to show you this one. It's actually perfect because we're doing this today. The videos are, again, where I learn so much. I'm always like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So the videos a lot of times they kind of cover a lot of things that we cover. Sometimes it's a magic trick. But a lot of them are STEM related. Like they're tied into science. Like it might be an igloo, and how does an igloo how does it keep you warm? Today we did, they're only about a minute and a half long. So do you want me to, I'm going to play this one so you can kind of get a feel for it.
Juicers. Do you know what holidays are observed on the second Monday of October? Well, it's Columbus Day, and more recently, Indigenous Peoples Day. Columbus Day was celebrated as early as the 18th century, before it was officially declared.
I won't play the whole thing, but I'll show you this. And what is really cool is that, and a lot of the science teachers that I've demoed this and, showed this to, they love this because you can go to our YouTube page and anyone can go here and you can see all of the different videos that we have. I was talking to one teacher here in Texas and I was showing her, there was one about how rainbows are created. And it talked about like optics and prisms. And she's like, I teach my 5th graders that. And so she was really excited.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can just go right to the YouTube channel and look for the videos too.
Yeah. And you can see like the cold drink hack or the freezer hack or the rust hack. I mean, there's, and we do different things about history. We do about books, magic tricks. Yeah, they're really fun. And that's kind of like the last part of the juices is that.
Okay.
And then here's the bright side article that I was telling you about. Have you ever followed this, the Fat Bear Week? It's
no.
They have like this whole competition with like these bears, and I don't know, people vote who they think is like, it says here, like which one is the best, fattest bear. It's hilarious. But like, here's a question, and again, which detail is not included in the article to support the main idea? So kids can't just like you try and answer this question, right? I mean, you really have to read it. And
so when they answer the question, then like they're obviously held accountable, right? So
yeah,
the information, the responses go into the teacher side of it, and then the teacher can see.
There, so I can show you the teacher side. This is where it's like, again, like it's a little mind-blowing to me, like all the things that we're able to show here. I'm going to go to the past 3 months and you can kind of see. So this is the teacher dashboard. And again, when I'm showing this to like the my tech, my tech people, they immediately can see I could have my teachers use this and I know that they're going to be able to figure it out. It's not
overwhelming.
Not too complicated. Right? So you can see here the past 3 months, and it's going to show you overall how your students have done as a class, who's completing it, etc. You can go in individually and look at the scores. And this is the part that I feel like I wish that I had this part, these learning standards. And I'll show you this. I did 3 months, so it now has to go through a whole bunch of data.
Oh, okay.
It's thinking. Hold on.
That's okay.
It's like, come on. And here's where you can see where you can put this quick link, that image. So these are the 2 different panels that the teachers have control over. It's like not, it's
what, explain the colors on the circle.
Oh, so green is complete.
Okay.
Yellow is in progress and red is unopened.
Okay.
So now you can see this kind of pulled this up, and I'm going to go in here and do results by students. So when I saw this for the first time, all I could think about was, oh my gosh, every year, teachers, the first thing that you have to do when you get in, once you get settled, is you're hit with figuring out how to show growth for your students for the year. Texas was different than any state that I'd been in before. We had to fill out like this 10-page student learning objective whole thing with data points and all of that. And that's hard for teachers. A lot of teachers don't know.
Time consuming.
Yeah. Well, and as a social studies teacher, to be able to come up with data at the beginning of the year, to be able to show growth, I was like, how the heck are we going to, I mean, they're not, if I give them the assessment that I give them at the end of the year, they're not going to know anything because they haven't learned any of this information.
Yeah.
So this is where I love this. So you can see how your kids have done. So you see, these are the students. You can see how the kids, and these, just so you know, these aren't real students. They're people who work at the Juice. So I'm not giving anyone's information out. I am Brian Kim. But what I think is awesome is that you can look by standard. We have the Juice standard, the Common Core standard, and the state standards. And I'm just going to do this month. And let's see, today there wasn't anything. I'm going to pull the past 3 months. So what you can do with this is you get all of this information about how your kids are doing on those quizzes that they take. And it's really valuable data. I mean, I think about 504 meetings and IEP meetings where I need to be able to show, like, this is what I'm doing with these kids, and this is, this is what I'm seeing. And so I clicked on state standard, and I'll just tell you, our headquarters are in Florida, so these are Florida standards. And you can see them, and they're the reading comprehension standards. Those are the ones that we focus on in the JUICE. And so you can go through and change those, depending on what you're looking for in particular. And you can see here, so this, on this standard, the student's quiz score is 80.64, but the class is doing better. So then I can go through, and it's going to show me all of the questions that were aligned with this standard and how this student has done. So I can scroll down and see, okay, the article most strongly suggests uncertainty of, and I can really get a picture of where this kid is struggling. And it may be that they don't understand when something is being implied. That's one of the things that we do, or inference. Whatever, there's particular skills that I can say, okay, this kid needs to work on those things. So the data that you get is like, I've never seen anything that does this.
So go up to the top for a second.
Okay.
And then on the right side, what does it say? Student
quiz score.
Quiz score. Okay. And then class average. Okay.
Yeah.
So it actually, it gives you, it does give you data just on that specific student on that standard. That's great.
I know.
That's really great.
I know. And so you can actually, and again, you can look back for 2 weeks, this month, 3 months. So you really can, and then you can go in and you can say, okay, hey, I had all my kids read this article on Tuesday. Like, how did they do? So you can really go through and see, there's a ton of information that you can get if you really want to know how your kids are doing with this. And let me show you how it looks a little bit different in the teacher's side. You can see right away that you can change the reading level here.
Okay.
To see what it is that your kids are reading. And then you can go and go back to
change the date.
Yeah. And this is how, so if I click on this is going to I can either assign it directly to Google Classroom. And I will say we are working to be able to integrate with other LMSs. So that is coming. So if you are a Schoology person, or something else, we are looking to do that. But I will say you can still, with Schoology, you can get the link.
Just copy the link. Yeah.
So you can still do it. The only thing is that when whoever is clicking on that link, they have to have an account. So you can't just copy that link and anyone can see it. But so this would be for the entire issue, the whole day, all 5 articles in the vocab, or you can go in and just do this particular.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah. So there's those options that way. And again, here you can see that's how long the article is. And again, this one has an extra juice. And I look at I'm the history teacher. So I'm like, this is really cool. I could totally put this into another slide deck.
You could put it in a slide deck. Yeah.
I just think the content part is what just gets me. And again,
I can't believe that's the whole article. Like, go back up.
Isn't
like, that's great? Just like 3 paragraphs.
I know. But here's the thing. It is, so not only, and it's not just me saying this because I'm working for this company. I've used this with students. It is, the kids feel empowered when they know what's going on in the world. They hear all of this. They see this. They're on TikTok. They're on Instagram. They're on Snapchat. They get little news tidbits. They are bombarded with, the media wherever they are. So for them to be able to go in here and be like, oh, that's what that was talking about. And I talk with them all the time about how knowledge is power, and how cool is it that you can go home and talk to your parents about how you know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then in here, you can search for older articles, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then you can share them in Google Classroom or copy the link to the same way, even though they're not active, like during
So there was
past
something
articles.
that you were talking about. What were you talking about that it was before? Oh, I'll just put in, I'll put in that one again so you can see it. And I'll go back here. So now you can see, so you can search by the article. You can search, and I think our infographics are so awesome. Oh, this was a great article here. This one about Facebook knows Instagram is toxic for teen girls. But like, and look at that. Like, these are things that we're creating on a daily basis. And I'm a photographer also, so I like things to look pretty.
Yeah, yeah.
I see things like this and I'm like, I want to put that in, I would put that as
You want to put in a slide deck.
yeah, and I would put that, or that, what a great bell ringer, right? To put this
It's
on
data. You could just have a discussion about data. Kids can't even
Yes.
read a chart nowadays. They need help with
Mhm.
interpreting a chart.
And they're going to want to talk about this. This is their life, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just such a nerd about it. I just get so excited. I just think I love all of our infographics.
This is great. I'm gonna definitely look into this for
Yay!
Unit 1 in my next marking period, because I did reference some current events that I knew, like the companies got cyber attacked, the Colonial Pipeline,
Mhm.
and the meat packaging company JBS.
Yeah.
We talked about them in class, but if I can do something like this and
Mhm.
share it with them, I think it just kind of zone in a little bit more on relevant information rather than
Yeah. See,
reading the whole article at the newspaper's website.
well, and that's it. And that's the thing
You
is,
know?
for me as a teacher, and again, it's another reason why I love this company and wanted to work for them. I have always, with CNN Student News, I've always tried to integrate what's going on in the world with what I'm teaching, because it makes it
Mhm.
relevant and the kids understand it. It's easy.
Yeah.
They're going to want to learn more about it. When you can talk about, was going on with like Black Lives Matter and all of those things, and to be able to, talk to the kids and have a safe place where there's information that they're getting that that you can trust. That's just
Yeah. And now, is this free for teachers, or how does that work?
no. So right now we have a 30-day free trial, but it is,
Okay.
yeah, and then but there is a price after that. We're in the talks of possibly coming up with a free version that wouldn't be all of this. So that's something that it's definitely on the table. We're just kind of we're talking about
Working it out.
Yeah, there's just it's a lot of work that goes into this. If you think about our team, that not only are they writing this article, but they level it out at four levels. So really, when you see 5 articles, we have 20. So, all right, did I just do that? 25. Well, because one's the vocab, and we have the vocab and the video. So there's a lot of work that goes into that. Look at that. Aren't those charts so cool?
Yeah, honestly, listen, if you're gonna charge, you're getting a quality product. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to pay for some things, and not everything is always free. People write the code and they put this all together, and that's what you're paying for. So I really enjoyed this. I might sign up with it though when I change marking period, so I can get the free version for the month and check it out,
Yeah, for
and then
sure.
and then I could get back to you and give you some feedback too. I
Yeah,
think
that would be awesome.
I'm teaching computer science this year, so
Mm.
I'm trying to incorporate current events in like the first unit of the
Mhm.
curriculum, and
Those would be
so
perfect.
cybersecurity, things like that, the Facebook, social media, digital citizenship,
Yeah.
that's all relevant. So I'll
Mhm.
definitely check that out and
Okay.
see
Yeah.
what I can get some kind of use out of it for that, just for that unit, and then I'll let you know. I'll
I'm
let
gonna
you know how
smash
it
it.
is.
Wait, can I show you one other thing really quickly?
Oh,
Hold on.
yeah, let me wait. I got to add you back in.
Oh,
Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
do I need to share it?
No,
Oh, no, I'm back in.
you're
Okay.
shared.
I was just going to show you one other kind of idea. For
Oh,
those,
cyber sandwich.
I know. So for those of you, I know. So some of you out there know Edu protocols, which are these lesson frameworks where you can basically plug and play content. And so Cyber Sandwich is one that I've used and I love it. And this is I just wanted to show you and everyone another way, again, that you can just take content and put it into an activity where you can have your students collaborate. Have you done Cyber Sandwich before?
No, I never heard
Oh
of
my
it.
gosh. Okay, so Cyber Sandwich, and we'll have to link them to Edu Protocols too, because I love them. But Cyber Sandwich is, so you can see here, you assign, and kids, most kids, especially in high school and even middle school, know how to share, you know, a slide deck with their partners pretty easily. I mean, Google is kids know it better than most adults, I think. So you have a partner A, partner B, and then there's two different articles or videos that you have them read. And here's the learning objective for this one. I can explain, this is actually a Texas state standard for middle school. I can explain the difference between climate and weather. And you can see that this student reads this article, and this is from the Juice. And you can click here, and then it goes to this article. And then they're going to read this, and again, another cool infographic. And then the other student reads, you know, the other student, oh, I put it here too, just so you could see it. These are leveled at the different, I put this in for a presentation, so you can see it. Leveled. Like this is level 5, 6, and 7, 8. And so I put them in there so you can see that. But again, you can see how short the article is. And then the next kid was going to read this one. U.S. to rejoin Paris Accord, and then this is their article. And then what they do is they come together, and it's like a compare and contrast. It's basically like a digital Venn diagram in a way, but it's cool because they're collaborating and talking about their articles, and they can see like what's unique to theirs, things they have in common, and you know, you can go on from that. Then I found a video. They did these videos, and then they do the same thing. And then here was, I actually put in each one of those articles had an extra Juice article. So they were able, then I took those and had those be the other things that they did. So just to kind of show you again, just another, besides the Afghanistan, there's so many ways that you can take this content and use it in the classroom. And I love that part of it.
Do you have a website where you go to get these type of templates for?
Well, no. So these that I have right now are things that I've kind of
that you made. Okay.
I'm happy to share with anyone. I mean, if anyone follows me on Twitter, I share stuff all the time. The Edu Protocols has the Cyber Sandwich template.
Okay.
Yeah. So Edu Protocols has that.
Okay. Oh, that's all. I like that you take the content and you put it into the slide deck, because it kind of, I don't know, it just makes the kid more focused on that particular piece or that article or that task. I do like that.
We know that if kids have to, I don't remember, like you try not to have them click more than once, right? As soon as they click out of what you're doing, sometimes they don't come back. So
they don't, yeah.
Like I'm the kind of teacher that teaches bell to bell, and like if kids always have things to do, and so you know, I don't want my kid. I want everything in one place, because I know
my
ADHD brain works. So if they only have to stay in that, I put it all in one slide deck, then they're there.
Then they're there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, it's just easier. It's easier.
I hope it makes sense. Does it make more sense?
Now I understand it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, we'll talk about that after we go off, but I'm happy that you demoed it, because it definitely cleared it up. Because I just really didn't know what it was.
Well, and it's new. We're a very new company. This is the first full school year that we are even around. So, you know, a big part of my job has just been brand awareness and getting people. I love the product, and I will tell you, every single teacher, and I've demoed it, you know, 30 times by now, and every teacher I show it to is like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
So everyone gets it once they get to see it.
Once they see it. Yeah, exactly. And you know, like what we don't have time. We don't have time.
I know.
This kind of keeps it all in one, and it's right there. So it's, you know, it's nice, you know, and I like the fact that you give the little video clip too, you know, as the daily, what do you call it? The daily juice.
Daily juice is the whole thing. And then, just the little videos are.
Yeah, the little videos and stuff. That's awesome. And the accessibility features, the reading, the vocabulary, you know, that's all great to have included in there too for kids that need it.
I am so appreciative that you gave me the platform to be able to come here and share it with you and everyone, because like I said, I just am so I'm passionate about just teaching and learning and education. And so when I have things that I love, I want everyone to have it, because I think that's
Pay
what
it forward.
do,
That's
right?
what it's all about. Pay it
Mhm.
forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree totally. This was great. I'm so thankful that you came on, you shared, and you you demoed everything, and I'm just grateful that hopefully somebody out there can benefit from it.
Yeah.
But what we can do is I'm going to put the show notes on my website, and you can give me the links that you want, and I'll include them into the Wakelet.
Yeah.
And then everything will be in there, so that if somebody wants that template or they want to visit the website, they can go into the show notes and
Absolutely.
get
Yeah.
that.
I
So
actually have a folder from one of my last webinars with, I think there's maybe 4 or 5 different templates that you can use. So
okay,
I'll
cool.
happily share those with
All
everyone.
right, cool. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up the show tonight. What I'm going to do really quick is share my screen.
Mhm.
So I'm going to try something new with you. I'm going to mute
Oh,
you
okay.
while I'm wrapping up the show. All right? Do you mind? I'm going to try something new. So I'm going to mute you. So hold on. All right. All right. So I'm going to wrap up the show. So let me share my screen. All right. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to mute you. Hold on. All right. So if you'd like to check out my website, you can visit thesweettalk.com. That's the SUITE talk.com. And tonight's episode will be here on the homepage. You can also join the Facebook group, The Sweet Talk. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter, my blog, The Tech Lady. Subscribe to the podcast on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and the newsletter. If you'd like to be a guest on my show, you can fill out the guest inquiry form, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Right now, I'm scheduling for the winter next year, January. So it's crazy, January 2022. If you'd like to become a sponsor of my show, you can fill out the sponsorship form, help me pay it forward, and support my mission. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. Teaching with the Google Jamboard. Our book is out, and Alice Keeler and I were so passionate about Google tools. We wrote this book together, and we gave you more than 50 ways to use the digital whiteboarding tool in your classroom. And we give you over 150 sample jams. So you can check out the book. It's available at Barnes & Nobles and Amazon. I am so thankful for my sponsors. They support me in my mission to pay it forward, helping other educators around the world. Thank you to Helpabird, Alice Keeler, Moat, Screencastify, TextHelp, Cami, Slides Mania, and StreamYard. And if you'd like to see any past episodes, you can click on the episode page, and you can check out any past episodes. You can watch the YouTube episode, and check out the show notes as well. And that concludes the show. Let me come back to my friend, and I'm going to stop screen sharing. There we are. All right. Well, that concludes the show for tonight. So thank you, Jamie. It was so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, everyone. Have a great evening. Until next time, stay safe. Bye.